Hey kids, what time is it? It's after dark time. Welcome everybody to Midnight's Edge After Dark. My name is Tom Connors. With me as always is one of the partners in crime, Script Doctor. How you doing?
Still cold, but doing great. Glad to be here. Glad to see everyone in the chat.
Well, you are in the Great White North. Also with us is the one, the only Mexican Iron Man. How you doing, Mike?
I'm feeling very taco-licious today. We had blue skies. It was a wonderful day here in Hilton Head Island. Tom, I sent you photos.
I saw it. It was beautiful.
Yep.
He has sun there. Script.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yep.
Not just grays,
Nope.
but actual sun.
Yep. Blue skies. Hashtag don't hate Mexican Iron Man. Hashtag embrace my life.
He's got to make us feel like shit every day. Every day.
I'm right now. I'm debating. Right now, I'm having a tough debate where it's just gotten cold enough now, so I think I might turn the pool heater up just a couple notches.
You son of a.
That's true. I should go take a picture of it right now. I could go get my phone and live cast.
Zontar, though, is awesome. He sent in $2 Canadian, also in the Great White North. Says script, red, green, or corner gas.
Oh, that's a tough one.
I remember red, green more than I do corner gas. I mean, I know of both, but
Well, red, green. I think the actual actor is Steve Smith, and he had a show prior to that with his wife called Smith and Smith, which is a singing variety show. But his red, green is really funny because it has a lot of skits, and it also is the most prolific use of duct tape ever displayed on television history. So that's pretty something. On the other hand, corner gas it takes place in the Canadian Shield, essentially, in the middle of Canada. Lots of rural jokes. Brent Butt's pretty funny. Gosh, that's a tough one. That's a real tough one.
that's like asking, when you ask a Canadian that's a big question. Like, I could see you having trouble answering that.
Yeah, it's tough. It is actually tough because there's a lot of Canadian. Well, I would say, darn, both series actually translate a lot better internationally than, both are better than Degrassi. Let's just put it that way.
Now you're talking all kinds of different shit. Stick to the topic at hand. Degrassi is like your 90210 or whatever, Saved by the Bell. Whatever.
It's 90210 meets Saved by the Bell.
Yes, exactly.
And it's a reason why we have participation awards, I would say.
Oh Lord. So there's your answer, kids.
That's a tough question. That was a good one.
It is a tough question for a Canadian, I can imagine. Are you a fan of either shows, Mike?
No.
Have you even seen any of the shows?
No.
Okay,
you'll fall in love with them.
From where I'm from, at least our local PBS handled red, green quite a bit. Corner gas was a little bit tougher to come across, but
corner gas is a little bit drier. But I would say this, Mike, for red, green, when you see some of the stuff he builds for his sketches, and the only thing he really uses is duct tape, it's pretty impressive.
You remember Tool Time on the Tim Allen?
Oh my God, I love Tool Time.
It's basically Tool Time for rednecks of the North.
No.
Really all it is. It's like that's the kind of basic setup of the show is red, green, and they're like he's just up there telling you how to do something like he's usually fixing something with duct tape.
He runs a lodge.
Yeah.
In the middle of Canada. He has his nephew through marriage, not blood related, is his producer, and he just has regular topics, and they have a whole bunch of really crazy characters that are members of this lodge that each have their own quirks and things about them, and then they've got their own little sketches in between.
It's like within a show kind of thing.
Etienne, who knows me, I think pretty well, says I have to watch it. All right, so fine. Is this on PBS? Where is this?
It was in the U.S. in certain areas. You might be able to find some on YouTube. I don't know.
You'll definitely find some of the individual bits on YouTube. Like I think he makes like a monster truck out of duct tape and an old like chassis from.
Wait a minute, this guy's
Ford.
got to be Mexican if he's making monster trucks
No.
out of duct tape, because duct tape is like the official flower
Well,
of
I
like
don't
Mexico.
know. Is there like Mexican Canadians? I mean,
There's many. I work with one who's like 77 years old.
is he though? That's I guess a bigger
Dude,
question.
you haven't seen the stuff that my family would fix and use duct tape and electrical tape for. It's like it's an art. It's an ancient art from the Aztec pyramids.
Yeah,
Red
no,
green is a
you
pretty
will
big deal,
you will
though. I
fall in
remember
love
that.
with those bits of that show, man. Like, because yes, Floral from Under a Rock is right. It's like right. There's the man's prayer, which is I'm a man, and that's okay, and I can change if I have to, I guess.
Yeah. I now it's all coming back to me a little bit more. It was a pretty big deal around here, but we're close enough to Canada to get a lot of the jokes. So yeah.
Well, yeah, anyone in rural America as well, like
Yeah.
Midwest and stuff, they get
Definitely.
that easily. Yeah.
Steven, aka Deleted Scenes. How you doing, buddy? Says, Hail Tom, Mike, Script, fellow wrenches, and chat. Recommending Boss Level for anyone who hasn't seen it yet. I've heard about that, but I haven't seen it yet. So there you
Likewise, it is on my watch list in January because I'm gonna have some free time in January to do some cool stuff. So,
go. And Jesse said his pewter is restarting, and here he is.
Indeed.
No worries, my friend. We got started late, and there's really like no news.
All right. So what do you want to talk about?
Well, Valiant just said a super chat that says super chat.
That's the way to roll.
Is that like when you roll into a town and their cafe just says cafe?
Right.
Their
Yep.
liquor store just says liquor. And
That's
their
like back in the day
laundromat
on
just says
TV, the beer said
laundry.
beer.
Right.
we did that nationwide with the beer store in
I
Canada.
was gonna say, isn't that kind of like Canada altogether?
Yeah, like the beer store had a name prior, which I forget at the moment. I'm pretty sure someone in the chat might remember it. But yeah, eventually people just started calling it the beer store. They said, "Screw it, let's just call ourselves the beer store."
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
No, you
Maybe
might as
some
well.
beer,
I
eh?
mean,
Where are
if
we
it's
gonna
not
go?
Tim Hortons, what is it?
Yeah.
Jesse got here just in time for the announcement of the new Midnight's Edge After Dark boy band OnlyFans page.
Oh, great.
Jesse, you have to go first on the first one.
Am I going to have to draw on my junk or something?
All I ever needed, yeah. You guys are not coming in when you're supposed to. I'm quitting the band already.
What?
Well,
But I'm.
All right.
Wait, what happened? Wait, where'd he go? Come back.
I've been
Oh, he's
watching
back.
Get Back too much. I'm pulling a George Harrison. You guys
Oh.
can just get,
you
guys can just get
the
a Clapton.
gay way
you guys get a
from
Clapton.
behind.
I won't come back to.
Oh my God.
That's pretty much
It
what
used
he
to be
says.
about the music
It's like they're not even really fighting.
and
It's
the
funny to watch
homoeroticism.
because they're like not even really fighting, and then all of a sudden George Harrison's just like, maybe I just won't come back tomorrow. And you can get Clapton, and he just like unplugs and leaves. It's like, what the fuck is going on, George? Like, they're not even really fighting that much. It was just kind of like I think George was just pissy and bored. Like it was kind of.
Well, they were together for a while then.
Oh,
You
yeah,
knew nothing was
yeah.
getting done.
Well,
today.
the thing was, is the press made a big fucking deal out of it. Like they had gotten into a fist fight and all this shit. Like, and then the next day, like when they finally got George back, there's even a scene where they're talking about suing the paper that was printed the story and all this shit. It was kind of funny. But yeah, no, actually, I watched Get Back. It's pretty good. Paulie and I are supposed to be talking about that. He did a review of the first part, but then I'm going to talk
Cool.
about the rest of them. But yeah, no, it was pretty cool to watch. I have my issues with certain issues of it, but other than that, that's all just stuff with Peter Jackson. But speaking of Peter Jackson, there is some news, but it's like stuff that I was saving for 4K for you. I guess Peter Jackson's classic films are all going to get released on 4K, or at least that's the new rumor coming from Bloody Disgusting.
even Weebles.
Meet the Feebles, yes.
Oh my God, you could get that on
The first
4K.
two, I believe, are Dead Alive and
Dead Alive is an awesome movie. I don't care what anybody says.
Bad Taste, I think, are going to be the first two, and then Meet the Feebles and his other ones are going to be coming, and Heavenly Creatures will be the second two.
I couldn't believe that fucking movie once you showed it to me.
Why?
Meet the Feebles?
Yeah, because it was like Muppets with date rape.
It is.
Yeah,
He's not wrong. I mean,
it's a very apt pitch of it.
which hopefully that I hope will lead into the Frighteners getting a 4K upgrade. That'd be nice.
Oh, I love the
And
Frighteners.
then on cue, we got Batman and Duck Nation also bringing it up. Yeah, that would be the next one in line.
And out of curiosity, how much has the Frighteners actually made over time? Because
I
it's a
don't
very popular
know.
movie, but it didn't seem like it blew up in the beginning.
It's definitely a cult favorite. I know at
Yeah,
the time
it's a cult film for sure.
I think it lost money when it first came out because I think
I never see it for sale. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's on Blu-ray and there's actually a director's cut of it.
Oh, that's cool.
But
Yeah.
funnily enough, I remind people it was actually meant to be Tales from the Crypt 3, but they changed.
Oh yeah, you were saying that.
And that's why it's produced by like Robert Zemeckis and all those guys, and they just cut off all the Crypt Keeper intro and exit.
I'm glad they took.
That's also why it has a bunch
of.
Yeah, well, that's also why it has like a bunch of TV and movie stars in it too.
It wouldn't really fit as a Tales from the Crypt. So I'm glad
it kind of does, but it does. Like,
you think?
You can, well, no, that's what I'm saying. If you look at it on its surface, you got Michael J. Fox and John Ashton and all these other
McBride.
Yeah, all these other actors in it that was kind of what Tales from the Crypt was known for, is you get like these comedic actors that would come in and do like a horror story. So like you have that kind of aspect to it, but the problem was Bordello of Blood bombed. So then Universal's like, get the Tales from the Crypt shit off it, because I think they were already in the midst of filming it.
Yeah, but wasn't that Dennis Miller's fault?
It
certainly wasn't the titties.
Well, it was technically his only movie, but I think that the problem with Bordello of Blood is it was not advertised well.
There's also Joe Dirt.
And Demon Knight did okay, but I don't think not as well as they were hoping either. But like,
I also think the framing was a little resistive to like a theatrical style audience as well.
Well, it's kind of the thing with Tales from the Crypt. I thought the first two movies are amazing. Like, I think they're very underrated. And I guess there was another one made, but I don't think it had the Crypt Keeper on it. Just had the Tales from the Crypt name on it.
The first one is actually very creepy. So I give
Demon. Well, that's the thing.
From the Crypt.
Well, if you look at it tone wise, it is very much in tone with Demon Knight and Bordello of Blood. It's a horror movie mixed with comedic actors and comedic elements, and that's what I think is the other thing that happened was the studio made Peter cut it down to PG-13. So like that's what the director's cut is. It has a little bit more of the gruesome stuff in it that would have been the R-rated cut.
See, I feel like Frighteners though, like as a piece, is more fleshed out than Tales from the Crypt movies were. That's where I feel like it's different.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe watch all three of them in a row and you might see it a little differently.
Yeah, and I have never done that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if you watch them, then with like after you get done with Bordello of Blood and then watch that, you'll see. Oh, okay, because the tone is very similar. A very sarcastic, dry humor mixed with, a lot like Ghostbusters, really.
Yeah, I could see that. I'll give them that.
That's kind of the way Tales from the Crypt always was. I mean, it was always kind of tongue in cheek. It wasn't quite like Twilight Zone or Tales from the Dark Side, right? Like it always had kind of it was twisted, but it was never twisted in a way that was like mean-spirited dark. Like it was always kind of a fun dark, at least from my record. I mean, I haven't seen that
except for the possessions and the hell demons.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen all the episodes, but I have the series and I haven't watched it all in a while. But I've watched a few episodes here and there, and I have some favorites and stuff. It just always kind of
like Goosebumps for grown-ups.
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say it kind of reminded me of because there's a lot of the same people actually worked on it. It reminded me of Amazing Stories, the horror edition. Do you guys remember Amazing Stories at all?
No.
Vaguely.
You guys don't remember Amazing Stories? Produced by Robert Zemeckis and Steven Spielberg and all those guys? That's where Family Dog came from?
No.
Wow.
Am I fired now?
No, but like one of the like I think the first episode was really cool. It was like set in World War II, and this bomber gets like his door gets stuck, but he's like he's an artist, and like he discovers all of a sudden whatever he's drawing happens. So like they're gonna crash land, and that's the whole thing is they think he's gonna die, but he ends up drawing like wheels. So then like cartoon wheels come out. It was a really cool fucking show. It was basically like Twilight Zone, but it was positive, uplifting stories.
Wow.
Right?
What the heck? How have I not seen this thing?
Yeah,
I don't know.
like
I've never even heard of it.
Spielberg produced it and shit. It was huge at the time. I think it started in 87, 88, somewhere in there.
How
for
did
like
the
2
wheels
seasons.
appear on camera though? Were they like?
Yeah, it was right around the same time they did Roger Rabbit, so it was very.
Oh, so it looked okay.
I think that was the episode that Robert Zemeckis even directed. But like, yeah, like, and then they even. You guys you don't remember the animated show The Family Dog? It was on CBS for like a year.
No, that one I'm not ringing a bell here.
Tom knows
1985.
every show ever.
Did it start in 85? Really?
1985.
Wow. Well, okay, then 85 would have been the first season, 86 would have been the second. But they must have ran a couple years after them because they didn't do any more seasons.
They had 2 seasons that ran from that aired in 1, 2, 3, 4 different date releases from 85 to 87.
That's why I was going to say that's why I thought they ran pretty.
That's
late.
why you thought it ran longer than it did, because it ran from 85, 86. Yeah, so it ran over.
It was pretty popular when it first came out, but yeah, Family
45
Dog
episodes.
fucking hilarious.
Oh, look, executive producer Frank Marshall and Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah, that too. I like Lindsay, but the dog was here, weren't you? We don't expect too much out of you, do we? No.
Frank Wilton Marshall, executive producer.
All right, so yeah, that's an 86, right? When the feature hour and almost 2 hours.
That's kind of what it was like the testing ground for a lot of shit. That's where like
Script Doctor wasn't even born until like the late 90s.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I'm still convinced.
I was
Script
watching
Doctor's
Shrek in 87.
I'm still convinced you're like 12. Like in my mind,
I just sound young. Yeah, I know.
You're like 12 to me.
You do sound young.
I do.
He's our script dick Doogie Howser. Like he's 12.
I should see if the Family Dog is on YouTube and send that to you guys after the show. You will love it. It is fucking hilarious.
Is it better than Denver the Last Dinosaur?
Fuck yes.
Really?
Everything is.
The problem is that original short. You got like Annie Potts, Charles.
I'm watching
Grodin.
Family Dog. I got Family Dog running right now.
All those guys doing the voices in the original animated short, but then like when they did it for CBS, they toned it down and they got completely different voice cast, and it was like it's not the same show. Like that original short is hilarious. I can't even really tell you about it because it just wouldn't translate. But yeah, it was definitely one of the first adult cartoons on TV. It even was like right around the same time The Simpsons were on Tracy Ullman, so like there had been very little of that.
Well, are you aware that they revived it in 2020?
Did they really? No.
Yeah, in 2020 it was revived on Apple TV for one season, and it only lasted 5 episodes.
Did they get Annie Potts and Charles Grodin back though? Probably not.
I'll let you know right now. Stand by.
All right.
Stan Freberg also was in it too.
Ed Burns, Austin Stowell, Victoria. Nope.
This thing got a Nintendo game.
Yeah, it was like semi-popular for a hot minute.
This is not This is not better than Denver the Last Dinosaur.
Yes, it is. The original short is anyway. Where did they get off calling us the dog gang?
Edward Kitsis and Adam Horowitz.
Oh, there you go. Adam Horowitz. Yeah. DCV Titan says, I'll see your red, green, and corner grass and raise you history bites, which you can hear on YouTube. There you go.
Oh, that's the other Rick Green show. Rick Green is the writer and one of the co-creators of the Red Green show.
I kind of assume that.
Yeah.
This had Martin Mull.
No, but Martin Mull has a great
So what's history bites?
show called Fernwood Tonight, which I recommend checking out if you can.
So
DCV Titan says we gotta check out history bites.
So what is history bites? That's what I'm not aware of.
It says with Martin Mull. He must have guest starred.
It's a sketch comedy show where they make fun of little history moments here and there.
Is it kind of like drunk history but without the alcohol?
I would say it's not quite. I mean, there's no. I don't recall any narrative in regards like a bunch of people sitting around just talking about history with it. I don't recall that. Man, that show that like started in the late 90s. So I don't remember a whole lot of it, but I
1998.
Yeah, I do remember it.
Holy shit! It ran for 10 seasons.
Yeah, it was around for a while.
Dinosaurs. You got some friends from out of town. I'm sorry, I'm just reading chat.
But I would check out History Bites again. That might be a good lost gem for people who like some interesting comedy takes on history. Not as funny as Blackadder, but still pretty good.
There you go. Sorry, I had my mouth full. Nikki D sends in $5. Says NWH is looking to have massive box office haul. No Way Home. MCU's box office dominance might return to form next year with Doctor Strange 2, Thor 4, and etc. Thoughts? Yeah, I heard this that No Way Home ticket sales actually crashed a bunch of websites.
Well, I
You
can
guys
only
hear
speak
that?
for myself and say I bought my 2 tickets. A future date yet to be determined, not date of the week, but who I'm going to take. But I'm seeing it Thursday, and I got 2 tickets, and I'm the first 2 tickets that bought the 4:00 show in my local area, and before that, there's a 3:00 show. Anybody wants to come to Hilton Head Island? We got plenty of Spider-Man tickets. Woohoo!
If anybody wants to go there just to chill, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
Just for the weather, I'd go.
We-
If
we
Andre
can
gave
jump
us some vacation
I got
time,
an outdoor jacuzzi. You know, it's
I
huge.
bet you do.
Yep.
maybe Andre will give me some vacation time.
Yeah,
Mikey's
something to
big
give you.
pimpin'.
Dude, I have enough room that not only can you have one room to sleep in, you can have a whole other room to like studio broadcast from, separate than the one I'm in.
He keeps trying to get me there, and I keep telling him, like, if I come there, he does realize that Sadie is going to take over the house.
Oh, can't Sadie and Bambino become friends?
Maybe, but
Uh-oh.
Sadie might eat Bambino, thinking
Oh,
she-
no.
Bambino's a snack.
If you guys
like-
live together, you're gonna.
What do you
drink
mean,
a
like
lot.
Bambino? Like, oh my god, if me and Tom lived together, it would be like the new Odd Couple. Like we gotta like. Can you script? Could you like put together like if I get a crew, script could like edit it and like do.
I'd see it more
It's
like
the Tom
a
and
reality
Mexican
TV
Iron Man
show.
show.
Be like
Dude.
the real world.
Right, and then we'll like be fighting over like the last bagel. My bagel.
I'll come
no,
in with
my
like
bagel.
a t-shirt cut off at the belly button and just like, motherfucker. Just like, I'm the shit. I do what I want. Just like
You
all that
turn
shit.
one closet into a confession room, and you just talk shit about each other behind each other's back. Until
Exactly. Yeah.
You're like
Mike,
that
bitch thought he was gonna make toast at 6 a.m. I'm like, motherfucker, nobody eats toast at 6 a.m. but people that are like regular people. Like, we aren't regular people. Like, I don't know. Fuck that.
and then Tom will like have like private moments into the camera. We'll say, if I see another fucking rabbit chicken around this fucking
And Mike never
I
wears
got bitten by a
pants.
copperhead. He
I don't know
says,
why.
"Don't kill it. I need the
Yeah.
meat."
And then he keeps bringing copperheads in the house. And they don't wear fucking pants.
I was walking outside. In the
Hey, how did you know
backyard.
that?
I was walking outside in the backyard, and I got hit in the head with a golf
But all right,
ball.
back on the question here. Do I think
Okay.
the MCU is the dominance might return? Well,
Nope.
well, it's a tough, like, it's getting to be a taller order by the release, right? We were just talking about this just before the show. One of the almost news stories was the almost failure, I guess you could call it, of Hawkeye. How it's nobody gives a shit.
Dude, the other night, I put it on. I turned it off. I didn't even get into the first scene. I didn't get past
I
the intro.
watched the
was like,
first episode.
I just don't want to watch it. I
Jesse,
don't know what to
that
tell
means
them.
that you do not support diversity and inclusion and women empowerment, Jesse.
He's a white guy.
I didn't really hate the first episode.
Oh yeah,
but
I forgot that part. Well, oh yeah,
granted, I went in expecting it to be really
He's-
fucking bad.
No, it's kind of just mediocre. That's its problem. It's got a very slow start. Not a whole lot happens in those first 2
I
episodes.
did kind of laugh during the Hamilton / Captain America musical thing.
That
I think the chick's kind of cute, but I think her outfit's
The Ant-Man wasn't there bit really made me laugh.
See, the whole thing bothers me because I like the guy.
Not only
I like the
that,
character. They're
Okay,
doing a
yeah.
decent enough job with the costumes. I'm sure it's an okay story, but yet for some reason they can't make me give a shit.
Well, what I found was funny in that bit, and again, that's just one bit, was that how diverse they made the Avengers. It's like, okay, so they are self-aware, right? Because they had like an Asian guy playing Ant-Man, a black guy playing Hulk, right? Like all this business. Like, so it was like, I kind of noticed that kind of shit. But outside of that, I was just kind of like, you're right. It just kind of sits there and it doesn't really do a lot. And I mean, the what's her face, Kate Bishop, who's the actress that plays her in this? The chick
Oh,
from
Haley
Transformers.
Steinfeld.
She's all right.
That's the Transformers. chick.
Exactly. Yeah, she's not. I don't feel like they really gave her anything that amazing to do,
Yeah, probably not.
and it was At least the first episode was predictable as shit, right? Because I'm like, as soon as they have like the whole thing where like her mom sounds like she's being threatened, it's like, okay, that's script knows what I'm talking about. That's a dead red herring move.
Yeah.
You know, it's the mom who's actually going to be the one who's the bad guy in this equation, because that's always how they set that shit up. And
watching Scooby Doo with you must suck.
Well, yeah. Well, it's not.
It's like 3 seconds and he's like, it's that guy. Fuck Tom.
Not always, every time.
You know, that's funny that you say that, because on those Scooby Doo things, like, and this is just because I was like, I don't know why I was like this, but I never got a single one of those right. Like,
well, the thing is they're always introduce them about the same point.
either.
So that's the thing. It's really easy to kind of figure out who it is. And they always act extra nice in the early scene.
I never got it till the end. I never got it.
I've been watching this shit since I was a little kid.
Script Doctor's
I've
just
seen
sitting
them
back,
all.
like wagging his head. He's just like, these guys are fucking pathetic.
Yeah, like these guys are just.
great.
Yeah,
Look, I know
Doctor's-
Redbeard was the shipping magnate.
But no, so Script, do you think the future of the MCU is in good standing, or you think we're not looking at a very bright future? Because I'm looking at it as for the last few years I've been saying, like, it's going to take quite a few misses for the MCU to fall flat on its face. Well, sadly, we've seen about a half. Are you jerking off, Jesse?
What?
It looked like he was jerking
Wait,
off.
what?
I don't know.
I'm making cracked pepper.
Gotcha. Okay. As I was saying, like their last few
What?
offerings have been failures. Let's be real. So Script.
Yeah, they're in the valley point right now. They've had their peak with Infinity War and Endgame, and now they're in the valley. And they might stumble out of that with No Way Home Spider-Man, because the brand of Spider-Man supersedes the brand of Marvel for the moment.
Now, Script. Now, let's say they do well. And they do well for a little bit. Do you feel that when Thor: Love and Thunder comes down the road, it's just going to kick him right in the balls again?
Could be.
I don't know. There was such a positive response to Thor Ragnarok, and it's the same team coming back to do Love and Thunder. So it's hard to gauge at this point. There hasn't been a whole lot released other than Natalie Portman in that muscle suit that they threw her in.
They put her in a muscle suit.
Oh yeah, those are not.
You didn't see that, Jesse?
No, I've been working.
Oh, Jesse, it's so
let me
funny.
look this up.
Jesse, you got.
Yeah, we figured it had to be because there was like recent photos of her. We're like, there's no way she got that jacked that quick.
Yeah,
Jesse, you got to see it. In fact, you should probably do like a live reaction.
Speaking of being jacked, real quick.
There you go. Camera on. Camera on.
Valiant Renegade is here to jack our stream.
Yeah.
Hey, VR.
What's
Hey,
up,
Valiant.
Script? Hey, Mike. Hey,
Hey, awesome, Valiant, you're here. We need
Yeah.
you because we just announced a Midnight's Edge After Dark OnlyFans page.
Oh, sweet. Sweet. I hope you got a wide angle lens.
The real question is, do you have a kilt already?
I do not have a kilt, but
You're gonna have to take care of that.
I can handle that. My Irish heritage, I will cross over for Scottish for that one.
It worked in Braveheart.
Yeah, so so y'all talking about
Oh, we're actually addressing
Hawkeye,
Nikki.
yeah.
Well, partially. We're addressing Nikki's question here. And Script was kind of giving his breakdown, and Jesse had asked a question. I think I was about to let him finish up his thoughts and then move on to Mike and let Jesse finish his thoughts on it, and I'll let you take a crack at it. Do you have anything more to add, Script? Or?
No, that's pretty much it. Well, I mean, listen, right now Spider-Man's going to be the barometer of what stage of life support Marvel is at.
Agreed.
Like, is it vegetable, or is it just like just comatose?
Is it animal or vegetable or mineral?
At this point, it's currently the arachnid.
Spiders suck. So yeah, what do you think, Mike?
I think that
Rabbit, chicken.
I really don't. I think the reason we're so wound up for Spider-Man is because most of it was good, and we expect that this is going to be pretty good. But I got to tell you, man, I'm after what they did on what they did on these different TV series, dude, I'm MCU'd out. I mean, I grew up a DC guy anyways, so I got sucked into the only reason I got sucked into the Marvel universe is I was always kind of an Iron Man fan as a kid. But dude, I don't think so, man. I think Marvel's done in terms of its movies. Not at least to the level of before.
Yes.
Jesse, any more to add?
It looks like this chick did push-ups till her titties fell off.
Valiant?
Wait, which chick are we talking about?
Natalie Portman. She looks like a dude, bro.
Oh, for Thor 4. Yeah. Look, it's. I agree with a lot of what's been said. I think the MCU, as I've been saying since post Endgame, all three of my kids were there. I took them. I went to go see Endgame when it came out. Like Thursday night, I did the previews. The three kids came with me Friday night, and walking at a theater. And you can ask any one of them. I told them, I said, guys, this is probably it for a while. I know the MCU has more stuff coming out, but it's pretty much downhill from here. Trust me. And like, Dad, really? I'm like, yeah, I really think so. And, talking about the numbers, I'm actually in the middle of cutting a video. I just walked back in the door about 5 minutes before I jumped on here with you guys. I've got to wrap up a video. I was just so
blown away by your brilliant super chat, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Like, I was in the car. I was taking off from a parking spot. I was like, yeah.
Okay, and Valiant, you really need to change your password from password.
Oh, crap. I got busted.
And don't give me that bullshit and make it password 1.
1, 2, 3,
I was
4,
1,
5.
2, 3, 4, 5. That's crazy. I've got the same combination on my luggage. All right.
That's the same as my safe. You know how I got it? Because of that song. So I remember 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Oh, the electric company. Yeah, they didn't they didn't copyright claim me when I used that joke for a Mandalorian review.
I think it's too old. You'd have to sue Stan Lee's estate at this point to get that one back.
Actually, I thought that was on Sesame Street.
I think it's PBS.
I think it was.
I think they stole it for Sesame Street.
But Electric Company was always on after Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers or whatever. Nikki D says, was asking whether or not the future of the MCU is in good hands or not. Valiant, you were in the process of answering. Did you have any more to add?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I was in the midst of cutting a video. I've got to finish it up. It'll be out, I think, tomorrow morning, talking about the Hawkeye issue, Samba TV coming out, and Hawkeye basically has undone all of the build in viewership from WandaVision through Loki. WandaVision started with about 1.6 million views on its opening weekend. You went up to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which wrecked two of my favorite MCU characters, especially Anthony Mackie. As a fellow New Orleans guy myself, Anthony Mackie's, big time down here. 1.8 million views on that opening weekend. Then you went up to Loki with 2.5, and Samba TV is now reporting that Hawkeye had a 1.5 million, went under the original WandaVision episode. That's really bad for Disney. And it brings me back to a comment that Bob Chapek made at a Goldman Sachs media and communications conference a few months ago that we've talked about, Tom, on Midnight's Edge. I did a video on it myself. You guys, I think, did videos on it. Talking about when he went out there and said that a robust library of content is what keeps people subscribed to a streaming service, but it's new content and a robust amount of new content that brings new subs in. Well, I'm here to tell you that the MCU products this far, which was supposed to be bailing Disney's butt out of the fire this year, driving Disney Plus sub growth, it ain't happening, folks. We're not seeing it. All of the new sub growth they've had this year has really come from new markets, especially lower revenue generating markets like Hotstar in India. It's just not bringing in the dollars in the high revenue markets like the US, like the UK, Western Europe. They've recently opened in Hong Kong and Tokyo, Hong Kong and South Korea. And Taiwan, not Tokyo, Taiwan. So we'll see whether those numbers bear out in the coming months on their next report. But as far as the MCU is concerned, it's not driving the success that Disney Plus needs right now. I don't see anything else out there on the horizon. We have had a declining revenue stream for MCU products this year so far, starting with Black Widow, which was ostensibly saved by Disney Plus Premier Access, of course. That $125+ million they generated from Disney Plus was not factored into their theatrical and distribution accounting division. And of course they had the thing with Scarlett Johansson after that. They shed a little bit more in terms of dollars from that revenue stream once the lawsuit was settled. But then you had Shang-Chi, which was given 30 days by itself in the theaters. If it hadn't had those 30 days all to itself, I seriously doubt it would have made the money that it did in terms of grosses. I still have serious doubts as to whether or not Disney made any money from that. I think they did not. And then, of course, the Eternals has been a total dud. They're going to lose a bunch of money on that one. And now we have these products going forward that, and again, Spider-Man is a Sony property. Right now, we know that Disney has a 25% equity stake in this new Spider-Man movie. And we would think, although I have not seen any confirmation, that in turn, Sony probably has a 25% stake in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness as a reciprocal in that contract. But Sony is definitely in the catbird seat right now. There's no question. I mean, the ticket sales they've had, the first day of pre-sales, in the first 2 hours, Spider-Man No Way Home outstripped Black Widow, which as of post-pandemic pre-ticket sales was the record holder. And again, they outdid it in 2 hours. It has now it has now beaten Avengers Infinity War in terms of the first 24 hours. I went and bought a ticket tonight for one of the Thursday night shows. It was literally about the only seat left. There was 5 seats left over 4 shows on the Thursday night previews. All of Saturday was sold out except for the early morning 11 a.m. show. And Friday, same thing. It is huge. This is going to be a big ass movie. This is going to drive the dollars in, and Disney is going to be sitting in the back seat watching it happen.
Do you think that's enough to drive plain Sony stock up?
Sony is a lot like Disney. It is such a massive, multifaceted. It's such a multifaceted company. Even in terms of Sony Pictures and Sony distribution, yes, this will absolutely be a big boon for them. In terms of Sony overall corporate financial structure, it'll be great for them, but it's really not going to move the needle that much. I mean, you got to remember, Sony still is, their bread and butter is still electronics. It's
and right now this movie's about to carry water for the PlayStations they're not building.
Well, they're building the PlayStations, but of course they just can't get them out fast enough. And depending on how this whole new variant of the thing goes, it could, I'm as a financial planner, we're looking at how is this going to affect the supply chain that's already in a crunch.
Well, honestly, it shouldn't, because every time a virus mutates, it mutates so that it will not kill its host and so that it can replicate further. So, yes, they become more spreadable, but they become less deadly. You want it to mutate. It would take a really happenstance instance for something to start getting worse and eliminate its own environment. The only people who do that are us people.
I agree with what you're saying, but understanding that financial markets and business is often driven, unfortunately, by 24-hour news cycles and government.
Oh, yeah, it's all psychological.
Stuff.
And
So that it is still going to have an impact. You could have something that is relatively innocuous in terms of effect, actual legitimate effect. But at the same time, if somebody decides, hey, we're going to shut shit down again for 6 months, that's it. That's what actually matters. So, from that perspective, you have to look at it from, not necessarily from reality, but from what people that want to ignore reality in some cases, and I'm trying to be delicate with what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's the scary thing, though, because business is all about the psychological viewpoint of the masses and trying to ride that wave, and that wave might be a little crazy sometimes.
Yeah. But back to the point. Look, Marvel is in an uphill battle right now. They have not been able to really get anything going this year. I put a video out this morning about Encanto, and I made the statement. I said, look, this is the 6th major motion picture that Disney has put out this year, and to date, not one of them, as far as I can tell, has been able to turn a profit. That's a big problem.
When you look at Disney Plus overall, I mean, what else do they have? They have Star Wars and they have The Simpsons. The Simpsons was bad enough when it was Zombie Simpsons. Now it's woke Zombie Simpsons, and nobody watches it. Then Star Wars. I mean, the Star Wars community they give a little leeway, but they mostly just keep getting more and more pissed off at Star Wars.
The Book of Boba Fett is going to be, honestly, that is going to be Disney's first really, truly big bellwether of this year. If that can turn in numbers at least on par with Loki, but hopefully much better, then I think they'll be going forward in good shape. They'll have an IP because, look, we have to be honest, love it or hate it, the Star Wars IP is what has launched and sustained year to year Disney Plus.
Yeah, because you could just
in
keep
terms
trying.
of growth, right? Yeah, I mean, in terms of nothing has come close to touching the Mandalorian in terms of numbers, at least not in terms of sustained numbers. So we have to look at the Book of Boba Fett as that really is the linchpin. Now it comes out at the very end of this year. So there's not going to be a whole lot of time. But then again, Disney's fiscal year runs different from the calendar year, just so everybody out there understands. Disney's fiscal year effectively runs from October 1st to September 30th. So we're already in fiscal 22 for Disney. So, and again, this is why we see a lot of the things like Disney's release schedule. This is why they had Shang-Chi. This is one of the reasons they pushed it up and put it at the beginning of September. They didn't want to push it back any further because they wanted to get that in a full month under the gun of fiscal 21 at the end of fiscal 21. This is why then you had Eternals that was released about a month into fiscal 22. So they could basically shift a lot of those marketing costs into fiscal 22. So we've talked about, like, you know, Disney's issues with the theatrical division losing $65 million in fiscal quarter 4 of 2021. It would have been a lot higher had Eternals been moved up. Had everything been pushed back and squashed into 21, that number would have been worse. So, you know, again, I'm expecting to see fiscal quarter 1 of 2022 in terms of theatrical distribution. It's going to be probably just as bad, if not perhaps worse, especially now that Encanto is tanking.
The only reason I know of Encanto is because of you guys.
Yeah, I didn't know about
and that's
it
a lot of people. They
Otherwise,
obviously, look,
existed.
I will say this. Disney obviously spent a lot of marketing dollars on Encanto, but they were hyper-focused in on the Hispanic, Latino markets, which is great. That's fine.
That seemed to
makes
be
a
the
lot of
case,
sense. However, when you've got a movie that has a $120+ million production budget, you've got to be very cautious about niching, or niching, however you want to say it, in your market. Okay. They shrunk it too much because 52% of the people that went to go see Encanto this past weekend on opening weekend, or the 5-day opening Thanksgiving frame, was Hispanic and Latino audiences in the U.S. Now, Hispanic and Latino audiences only represent about 13 to 14% of the U.S. population. For them to have represented over 50% of the population that went to go see Encanto this weekend, that tells me that Disney had too many dollars shifted in one small demographic direction, and that's part of the reason
sounds like
that
terrible
this movie.
Marketing.
Yeah, this is.
You want to know what I know about Encanto? I know it's called Encanto. I have no idea what the story is because that's what they didn't advertise to me, and I never saw it.
Well,
it could be a very interesting thing. I don't know. I want to know.
Paulie saw it. He enjoyed it. Outside of that, we haven't really.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I haven't seen it. It might be great.
It's about
the
a magic house
wonderful.
that gives a family powers, and one girl doesn't get powers, so it's about her trying to find herself. That's the basic outline.
And
let me say this: I'm a guy that really loved Coco. I thought Coco was a great movie. I really.
They're not even using that to advertise this, though. Granted, I think Coco was Pixar and this is Disney, but they are under the same distributor. We've seen so many of these fucking trailers lately. They make me laugh every time. They always say, from the studio that brought you, which has nothing to do with the movie you're about to watch.
Right, but that's their marketing stuff. And actually, you know, Tom, one of the things that intelligence, the entertainment intelligence a company that does basically think of it like exit polling after a presidential election. Intelligence does this research. Deadline has been doing a great job recently, consistently reporting their facts and figures. But that was one of the things that Intelligence and Post Track brought up was that effectively the thought was that too many people didn't understand this film. Is that they, a lot of audiences thought it was like, okay, we saw Coco a couple of years ago, so this is another Coco movie. There was really, the marketing did not distinguish this as a standalone property, and it really hurt the film.
Maybe they were hoping they would bank on that. But Adam Wolford sends in $2, and he wants me to show you the opening to Amazing Stories. It was a hard time finding this. All I could find was the reboot from Apple Plus's intro, which they use the same fucking music, interestingly enough. But since you paid $2, even though we'll probably get a copyright claim, who cares? So I don't know if I'm going to show the whole 2 minutes of this because it's like a 2-minute intro, but we'll show some of it here. In case you guys might not remember it, here you go.
Leah Pearlman and Danny DeVito really let their hair down. After all, he's just given her the wedding ring. Because of the nature of tonight's episode of Amazing Stories, parental discretion is advised.
I loved it when we used to see that as kids. I mean, we're going to see some shit.
Yep.
Pretty sure Alan Silvestri did this intro. Some computer animation, early computer animation there.
Yeah, pretty well done for the age.
You guys don't remember this show, huh?
No, sorry, it's not ringing a bell.
Well, at least if Script ain't seen it, I don't feel bad.
It was a pretty big deal when it came out. That's why I'm surprised. Because you got to remember, this came out in the midst of Spielberg's, height.
Mm-hmm. I remember the movies and the TV show.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool show.
All I can think about is a Family Guy joke with Rhea Perlman and Danny DeVito. I don't know if you remember the one I'm talking about, Tom, but it was a cutaway, and Danny DeVito looks at Rhea Perlman and goes, "Well, it's me or nobody."
No, I have never seen that one. Diego Flores sends in 5 Ruby Souls. Thank you so much. Says, can we talk about the ridiculous prices people are asking for Spider-Man tickets? $25K for one ticket. Yeah, I've heard some are selling for hundreds of dollars and shit. It's like, are you serious?
As I said I'm going to tell the audience something we talked about in the previous. So I bought my Spider-Man tickets and I'm literally, I got the first 2 tickets for the 4:00 show in the theaters empty. Hilton Head Island has plenty of tickets. Come on by.
There you go.
All right.
Dude, for 25K.
So you hear that, folks? Leave your state to go see Spider-Man.
You could get a plane in a hotel for 25K.
Or No Way Home.
We don't even have stuff that costs that much out here on Hilton Head Island. Not for the weekend, anyway.
You'd have to get a lot of barbecue.
Then we got a super chat from Deranged Lunatic who says, rest in peace, JJ, a.k.a. Sith Lord. You will be missed. Tim, yes.
I only found about that last night.
Huh?
I only found out about that last night.
Yeah, I didn't find out till a little later yesterday. I just talked to JJ not too long ago myself. I know a few other people also. This took completely off guard. He was not very old, and and
he was in good shape, and he was healthy looking.
Well, I guess he did have some underlying health issues, but again, point being, these things happen, and they remind you how, quickly you can lose somebody, because he was only 49 years old, I think.
Yeah, he was young.
You never know what's going to happen, even if you have medication, everything's going well to regulate something, it might stop working one day.
And he's a very good dude, and it's sad to see him go like this. Took everybody kind of by surprise.
Yeah, definitely, because I just saw him.
Oh, you knew him? I didn't know this gentleman, but
you didn't. Okay, yeah, no, he's very good.
But I've only heard nothing but good things.
I didn't know him either.
Yeah, very loyal.
He's just like everybody else around here. Everybody around here is good people. That's why I like the member streams, because it's like you get to see everybody and get to know everybody a little bit better. It's people should do that, man. That's why I think more people should get into the Discord and talk to each other.
No,
getting to know each other in this
When he was a
community,
mod
it's a
for
beautiful
so
thing.
many channels. And again, he also popped. I think he was even on Midnight's Edge After Dark a couple times way back in the day. I hadn't seen him in our chat in a while, but no, I kept in contact with him pretty steadily. Would work with him when they would do the Name That Tune stuff over there. And yeah, I mean, I can't say a bad thing about JJ. I don't ever remember having a bad experience with the guy. He was one of the nicest, most gracious, giving guys I ever met on the internet.
Yeah, he was extremely chill.
Always giving everybody his time. Was never thinking of himself first. You know, the few times he ever asked me to do anything was never for him. It was always for somebody else. So, like, one of the most unselfish guys I ever met in this business.
Sounds like my kind of guy.
Yeah, he reminded me a lot of you, Mike. Yeah.
And you know, this whole entire overarching community where everybody is into all different types of things, but it's like different tribes coming together and make it this huge, like they call it a fellowship now, I guess. But I've known 3 people personally that have passed away, and this isn't even like a very old community. Was it 3-4 years old, maybe 5? How old is this?
I mean, like Midnight's Edge and a few of the channels have been around for a while, but like Ground Zero was kind of Ghostbusters 2016. Between that and The Last Jedi really kind of kicked it off, I guess. That's kind of where the Fandom Menace moniker came in. But no, he will be missed. He will definitely be missed. And it's one of those that was, it took me a few minutes to just kind of register it. So Video Fox sends in $5, says, do you think they will keep Jane Foster as Thor or reset everything back to normal at the end? Oh, I think this Jane Foster thing is just okay, because there is the one storyline from the comics where she does get the power of Thor, but it's like this whole storyline that has to do with her having cancer and shit like that. And I think that's what they're going to do here. I don't think she's going to keep the power. I think it's just going to be a temporary thing, and they'll either go with the cancer storyline, or it might even, since they keep saying it's going to be more of a romantic comedy, I'm curious. I heard I heard a slight rumor of what the possible storyline could have been a long fucking time ago. Like Script might even remember mentioning this like a year and a half ago or whatever, where basically it was going to be like, for her to understand to be with Thor, she had to know what it was like to be Thor or some shit like that is like the joke.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, so it was kind of like,
you want to marry my son, you got to know what it's like to live in his shoes, sort of thing.
Yeah, well, his dad's dead, but like the whole thing is like, yeah, even though
Freya's dead or Frigga's dead or whatever.
Yeah, but like oh man, like you can't make a romantic comedy and add in the cancer.
Well, that's what kind of like
not doing that.
That's what, because I did hear from a couple other people that they were doing that storyline from the comics, but I'm like, that, like you just said, Jesse, I'm like, that doesn't really sound good with like romantic comedy.
I don't know. Taika Waititi can do some dark stuff and do it well, so you never know.
That's the thing, and I know a lot of people got pissy with his "I'll ruin your mythos in a minute, baby" thing.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Jojo Rabbit, but just about everything else I've seen the guy do and seen him in, he's an enjoyable guy, and he knows how to play to an audience. So I can't believe he's.
I liked him in Free Guy. I liked what he did in the Suicide Squad.
And that do that in a minute, baby. That's like, a husband saying, yes, I'll take out the trash. Like, that's basically his response to that when you take a look at the context.
Well,
of the
I think he was
thing.
being sarcastic /
I think everybody says something stupid once.
They're going to be like, you're destroying my mythos. He's like, yeah, I'll destroy it in a minute, and just waving his hand off.
Like, I didn't take anything personally.
Well, I thought he meant more like it'll only take him a minute to destroy it. But
no, a lot of people inferred that, but that doesn't seem like Taika's type of.
Even if he meant that, that's my point. Is I still think he's trolling. So, yeah, I could be wrong. I'm hoping for the best because I enjoyed Thor Ragnarok. I know some people didn't.
I liked it.
I thought it was all right. Yeah,
I enjoyed Ragnarok.
It's just
not that so Love and Thunder sounds like a terrible title.
It's not so much about Taika. It's about potentially what he may be being told to do.
Well, there's that, and he is a bit of a woke.
That's always the problem.
You know, and we can say what we want about a lot of these writers and directors that we have respect for, and that's all fine and good. We're in a bit of a new era here where, you know, there are sometimes, you know, let's call it the hand of God coming down from the studio heads saying, well, great. I'm glad you're here. You do great stuff, but we need this to happen. So I want the movie to be good. I hope it is, but like everything from Marvel these days, I'm highly skeptical. And I think a lot of the fandom is out there as well. I think we're seeing that, going back to our conversation earlier, reflected in the numbers. It's being reflected in the movies, the box offices. It's being reflected in things like Hawkeye right now, where people have
that
been
one
giving
thing the
such a
studio
taste.
head says to him is stupid, and everybody hates it.
Well,
it ruins everything. It's like somebody just came along and took a shit in the lasagna.
the bottom line is really this, Jesse. It's that everybody is now at this point recognizing the fact that every new Marvel property that gets released has a very high propensity for replacing a character that they've come to love.
Yeah.
So, that's a big problem.
Given at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
And you know what makes it so infuriating to me, Valiant? That's a very excellent point you just made. I mean, you always make excellent points, but this is a studio where when they did the first run, right, in the cinematic universe, what is it? One of the main reasons why people latched on and became fans of these movies was because they had pretty accurate treatments of all the characters, and they respected our memories of what these characters were. Now to then flip and say, okay, I'm going to change these now, change things around and move things around, screw things up. And I think that's why like some people feel so burned by the WandaVision thing, because they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then it just kept going from there.
Yeah, and let me add this, and I'm kind of spoiling a lot of the stuff I'm doing in the video tomorrow, but, you know, I'm going to put it out anyway. But a part of the issue right now with Marvel is something that I tacitly kind of joked about earlier, in terms of they're in a war right now, a legal war, a copyright war. And we have all talked about this before. Me, Midnight's Edge, everybody here. You know, they're going after Stan Lee's estate. They're challenging guys like Steve Ditko, Jack Kirby. This is across the board. A lot of this character replacement. And we can say that, oh, they want to wokeify everything. Well, I think that's very partially true.
They're using that as an excuse in a way, but yeah.
Yeah, because those legacy characters have more valuable than the replacements, and because of that value, they have to pay out more to use them. So if they bring in newer replacements, Valiant, you may continue.
No, it's perfect script. That's exactly what I was going to say. Is that part of this is that if we want to try to squirrel our way out of any future legal entanglements, then we need to radically alter these characters to where they're virtually unrecognizable to the original IP. So, for example, Captain America.
Well, they're not derived from, or whatever the term is, right?
Captain America is no longer a white dude. Captain America, like everybody said, like story-wise and narratively, it would have made a lot more sense to have Bucky become the new Captain America to complete the redemption arc as Steve Rogers' oldest friend.
But
he's
Bucky
also super powered. You know, and
he's a Ditko character, though, isn't he?
Yeah, I think yes, that would have made more sense. But we can't have that. Now we need Captain America because legal entanglement potential. We're going to make Captain America Sam Wilson, who's a black man. So now we can't say that, oh, well, this is a totally different dude. You know, it doesn't look anything like the original. We're about to get the same thing with Iron Man, right? So they developed this character 4 or 5 years ago, Riri Wilson, whatever her name was, a black female who takes Tony Stark's tech, and she becomes a new Iron Man. Now, the comic book didn't sell at all.
And I rewrote it better.
Yeah, that's where it's going, because she's being introduced in Black Panther 2. She's getting her own Disney Plus series. She's the Tony Stark replacement. We're seeing the same thing. Hawkeye. We're going to replace Hawkeye, a white man, with a female character, because again, this takes us another one step further away from any potential future copyright entanglements. So on and on and on. Guess what came out this year? And it's still running right now. The death of Doctor Strange. in the comic series.
Right.
So we don't know. I don't know where that's going yet. I don't think it's completed, but that will be the next thing, is to kill off Doctor Strange, potentially, maybe in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse.
I wonder what young diverse chick will get his job.
Well, I also wonder why they're now doing 6 days a week for 6 weeks of reshoots for Doctor Strange. What the hell are you doing?
I can tell you who won't get a call is a Latino, a Mexican, and Mexican Iron Man has not been called to be part of the new cinematic universe.
On that note, John Apocalypse reminds everybody that not all Latinos are Colombian. All unique cultures. This is correct. And actually, they had a very in-depth conversation about Encanto this morning on Midnight's Edge Espanol. So if you want more in-depth,
it was an intense discussion. It was a good.
Go ahead.
You guys did a great show, Paulie, and you guys did a great show this morning.
Yeah. Goddess of Whim is also here. Welcome to the show. We're glad to see you. Wait. A musical made by Lin-Manuel Miranda bombed. I have some hope. Yeah, he was involved with the Encanto movie. Yes, I wouldn't say it necessarily bombed, but it's definitely underperforming for Disney. That's for sure. But I think they're not like surprised by it in a way. I mean, even though there's the headlines talking about it not doing that well, I don't know what the budget is on it, but we'll see. Darius Munchausen sends a super sticker. Thank you so much for that. I can't see what it is now because I lost it in the shuffle of everything else. Let's see here. Can I go back far enough? No, I cannot.
I'm still in the public chat.
Oh, there it is. Popcorn.
Okay.
Popcorn. Popcorn. I want some popcorn now. Popcorn's probably not good for me though.
Yeah, it's got some fiber in it, doesn't it?
That corn's really bad for people.
It's all the butter.
Mrs. Renegade took the popcorn maker out the theater at the studio earlier this week. I was mad at her. Yeah, she moved it back to
level shit.
I know. She's like, "Well, we cleaned it. I didn't want to clean it again." I was like, "I always clean it." I said, "I'm bringing it home. Forget it. It's not going to stay at the music school anymore. We've got so many Christmas programs coming up." I'm like, "Make popcorn."
Infinity Flare sends in $2 and says, "So what happens after Phase 4 completely tanks?" I think after Phase 4 completely tanks, they rely heavily on the X-Men and Fantastic Four and Spider-Man.
Which is what they should have done.
The problem is that is still several years away.
Exactly. Well, that's the next phase-ish, and where I'm saying is like, yeah, Spider-Man's basically going to carry this through because that's where this new 5-picture deal comes in.
It really does scream that they're just buying time.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Phase 4 is going to end with Fantastic Four.
Well, we don't know what the next, 3 Spider-Man pictures that they've now, that Amy has hinted at, this new Spider-Man trilogy. We don't know how connected that's going to be to the MCU.
Oh, it's totally connected. It's MCU involved.
You know what I don't get about this whole thing? Like,
they're setting up for Miles Morales with that trilogy.
That's my point, is that I don't know how interwoven. I mean, it's still going to be part of the MCU, yes, because it involves Holland.
2 of the movies
I don't know how much
MCU
reciprocal, how many. Those are 3 Sony Pictures Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, but I've been telling you guys this for a while, and nobody's been listening to me yet. It's been out there in the headlines. There is a new deal in place. I was told from multiple sources, basically, Amy Pascal was the one who was holding shit up for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
When they had that whole 6-month period, Tom Rothman got so fucking pissed.
He brought the hammer.
He came in and said, make this shit happen, make it happen now. So they got that deal done. And I knew when they were talking about this, it was going to continue because Venom and Morbius and all this shit is being set up for the Sinister Six. Like, and Tom Rothman was not about to let Amy Pascal pull her little bullshit game, because even though Into the Spider-Verse did win an Oscar, it didn't make any money. Right. And neither did Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. So basically that's what I was heard, is she's like, you got your fucking shot. It didn't work out. And Rothman is not in the mood to deal with this shit. He hates superhero movies. Fucking hates them. That's not a well-known fact.
I can't wait to see whatever deal. If
this
if
deal is going to pretty much cover
deal.
the next like almost 10 years, right? Like this is pretty much it. Like he is like locked it in that they are working in tandem for like, and that's good for him, because you know what that means? Then that means he doesn't have to really worry too much about Disney trying to take away the license at any point. They don't have to worry about getting a movie done within a certain amount of time. They've got all kinds of shit coming up. Venom was a big hit for them.
Yep.
It made them all kinds of money. They're going to be coming out on top this year, especially after Spider-Man. They don't even really need Spider-Man.
As long as Sony has managed to retain overwhelming control.
They do. They still have I think
because
it's a 60-40 or 75-20 deal.
I'd be at 75-25 right now. I don't think
something like that.
Look, and this is my point, Tom, is that when you look
but
at
they also
right
got
now,
some of the toy sales back too. That was the other part of the deal.
They did, but when you look at the cinematic box office right now, Marvel is in a death spiral. Let's be honest. In terms of financial revenues, in terms of
that may
box
be,
office,
but Tom Rothman looks at it as like, yeah, it's a guaranteed almost $1 billion, no matter what.
It is, as long as they have retained their power position. And my point is that I think with the current decline going on in Marvel, this has strengthened Sony's position. Because if I'm Tom Rothman, I'm looking at the last several pictures that Disney Marvel has put out, and I'm going, I got all the eggs here. They're all in my basket. If you want to get this re-kickstarted, then I'm in the catbird seat. They really are right now. They really, really are. Because imagine right now if Doctor Strange in the Multiverse was coming out now it's May. Imagine if that was coming out sans Spider-Man. There'd be a big question mark. I think right now that movie is carrying itself. I think the interest in that movie is carrying because of that direct Spider-Man tie-in, or at least so far as we know right now, or as we suspect. So that's something to be considered. I hope Sony holds on to those reins tightly.
All right, and I know you had to head out here soon, so I don't know how much time you have.
I do. I've got another one of the kids to pick up. So
all right. I don't know if anybody else wanted to address what they think will happen if Phase 4 tanks, but I want to thank Valiant for hopping in for a little bit. Check out his channel for all his insight and videos there. And until next time, take care, sir.
Will do. And I will see you, I'm assuming, tomorrow night for 4K for you.
Yes, well, definitely. And we actually brought a little bit of news up.
Bunch of new 4K movies that I have had in this week.
So do I, but there's actually been a lot of 4K news. In fact, I brought one of the news bits up in the beginning of the show here. So,
okay. Well, I will see you.
You two are going to feed each other's addiction.
That's kind of the point.
Yeah.
It's a great show.
It makes it okay.
And hey, everybody before Valiant goes, anybody in the chat, just because you may not be into 4K yet, I'm a newbie and just got into it recently. It's a really great show to kind of lead the way and guide the way. You guys are doing a great job over there.
Well, we're trying.
Oh, and for the audience, before I head out, I accidentally, once again, because I do this all the time with Amazon, I have an extra copy now, sealed up, that I'll be giving away tomorrow night on 4K for you, of the original Ghostbusters in 4K.
Listen to this guy.
So y'all be there, giving it away tomorrow night.
Very nice.
Nice. Very awesome.
Y'all
all right. Take care of yourself, VR. All right. Well, thank you for that, Infinity Flare.
2 things to pop in on that one. Like in this last phase, that was so boring. Number one, why didn't they just pop out another Guardians of the Galaxy movie instead of something like Eternals?
Well, they were planning on it. It should have been out now.
Yeah, actually, Eternals took the Guardians of the Galaxy spot, I think, prior to the pandemic time. But unfortunately, Alan Horn overstepped his authority, and things got shuffled around.
And that's where the cosmic side of things got fucked up, too, because James Gunn was initially supposed to oversee the cosmic phase of Marvel.
And Adam Warlock was supposedly rumored to be part 2 of Infinity War as a result of that. There's a lot of last-minute changes and reshuffling that had to occur.
You're right. Like,
supposedly, not
Warlock is a whole nother discussion.
Well, a lot of it's been confirmed. Like, yeah, they did a lot of changing of what they were going initially with. And then you also got to remember, in the midst of all this shit, they reacquired X-Men and Fantastic Four, so that also changed shit. We had the Spider-Man deal come back into play, even though it was kind of in question for a while. So, yeah, they've been kind of again. I hope that they get themselves back on track, but I don't know if that's going to be possible.
Yeah, there hasn't been a team in history that's won every game. So if you like the movies, give them a shot.
No, I think you're right. Like, we've already seen their height. Like, maybe I mean, we're at the point where it's like we've seen the best of the Bulls. You know what I mean?
Unless you hold out for the X-Men, and it's good.
Yeah, that might be Michael Jordan's comeback scene. We'll see.
It's really not when he played baseball, but
no, that's what the MCU is doing right now. Like it's Michael Jordan
pretty
playing
much.
baseball.
That's great.
Yeah,
actually.
they needed Space Jam.
Yeah, they did.
They need to Space Jam this shit, and hopefully they do.
But
it's pretty sad that we're using that as an analogy.
Yeah.
While Valiant Renegade was talking, he was making me think, so I looked up if there was anything new with the Venom game. But apparently Venom's going to be in the next Spider-Man game. So that's sweet.
I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit more crossover between the two here coming up.
Oh, yeah. Especially, dude, I need to find me a PlayStation.
I see Six and Polly in the chat as well. Polly in the chat? Thought I saw Polly.
Summoned him.
All right. Well, Joker Voice is in the chat, and he says, Disney Plus has now introduced 4 members of the Young Avengers. Ironheart and Miss Marvel are the final 2 for those upcoming storylines. Yep, pretty much. And I think they're setting up Spider-Man to be the new head of the Avengers, because I think that's one of the underlying storylines in this upcoming film, without giving too much away, is him dealing with the idea of being a leader. So,
well, he is OP as hell.
This is true.
I mean,
yes, Polly is in the chat.
The first time he ran into the X-Men, he beat the shit out of the X-Men by himself.
Well, Spider Sense does a lot to help, you know.
Yeah, he took them all on. Just he dropped down from the rafters and he whooped all their asses.
I think then we are now caught up on super chats anyway. Looks to be that way. So we are caught up in the chat, which is nice. So I'm actually up to speed. Did you want to come in, Paulie? I'll send you a link. We're not going to be gone too much longer, but yeah, because in about 30 minutes, I'm going to be heading on over to 32 Flavor of Nick Weiser's channel to talk a little Die Hard with a Vengeance.
That's next week, I think.
Oh, that's this week.
You sure?
Yeah, Die Hard 2 is next week.
Okay.
He's doing them backwards up till Christmas.
Yeah, but I thought he was starting on the 7th.
He sent me a link. It is in 7 days. What's tonight's movie then?
I think he's taking tonight off.
Oh, he sent me a link here.
I don't know. Maybe he was just showing.
Oh, no, he didn't. Never mind.
Could impromptu a bad Santa Toxic Tuesday.
In tonight's episode of YouTube channel production, the boys cover.
Well, do we need to do a Toxic Tuesday then? Shit.
Brainstorming.
Where is Nick Weiser? Why isn't he doing Toxic Tuesday?
Oh, maybe he's got to do something.
What?
He's got a life.
Maybe he's setting up
house,
Maybe he's setting up his OnlyFans page.
Yeah, right.
Well, then I don't want to do it without asking him first. And if he's busy and he can't answer, then no, we'll just keep talking then. Never mind. We're not going to head out.
I'll run a stream in a while. Fuck it. I haven't done
Yeah, you can do that. But I mean, we're not going to rush to get out of here then. Originally, that was kind of like where it's like, oh, we got a deadline. But you're right. No, you're right. Yeah. My bad.
Da, da, da.
I love the idea of him doing the countdown diehards, though.
You know what we should do, though?
And I love that he avoid Live Free or Die Hard.
We have an idea for at least a couple ideas for our upcoming A-rated B movies and B-rated A movies. We could do a poll script.
Yeah, we should do a poll.
But the one I think we're going to leave off to the side because I want to talk to who about it.
Yeah.
But okay, so we got the one that you gave me. Maybe we need to come up with another one too. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea.
Well, let's ask the audience. Okay, here's the thing. Since the first movie we did was Ghostbusters 2, which we consider an A-rated or a B-rated A movie, this next movie we're going to do is an A-rated B movie. So the one that Script came up with was the remake of The Blob. So we need something to go up against that for a vote, guys. Give us some ideas for an A-rated B to go up against the possibility of The Blob. Oh, UHF.
There's so many.
Oh, UHF.
UHF is a good one.
Yeah, but that could go. UHF could go both ways on that.
It could. I mean, it's definitely more cult-sided because I know a lot of people that haven't seen that movie. I was also thinking like some of the more sillier ones. I mean, not that are like strictly B movies, but slightly decent. Like You're the Hunter from the Future was a silly one.
You could be controversial and say the original Evil Dead.
They Live has been one that's been on the list so far.
Anything Carpenter, really.
A B-rated or a A-rated B movie, though. That's how it works, right? Because that's more B movie.
Well, what we consider B movies is usually stuff that's anywhere from straight to video or low-level studio fare.
All right.
Yeah. Like the tail end of a double feature that people walked out because they didn't want to stay to see what it would be like.
Army of Darkness is a good one too. Yeah,
Army of Darkness was amazing.
Army of Darkness.
Oh, Hellraiser 3 is garbage. That shit trash.
I've thought about doing the Evil Dead ones, but I'm kind of holding off because there is an Evil Dead movie coming out. I can't
Is
remember.
It off the new franchise or the old franchise?
I think it's like a reboot.
Another one, eh?
Because Ash is not going to be in it. It's called Evil Dead something. I can't remember what the hell.
Does it at least have Pablo?
I don't think it's a sequel to the other one either because it has
Jesus
completely
Christ.
new characters in it. I'm sure it's
Knock
still
it
in the
off.
universe, I think, but like, yeah, I've never
Ash,
seen it.
dude, they could just pick up where Ash versus the Evil Dead left.
Oh, he said he's too old to play Ash.
Yeah, he said that Star TV series would be the last time he'd play the character. So if that kept on going, he would have kept on doing it, but they canceled it.
Well, he did have to ride around on the hood of the car for quite a while.
Yeah, I that's how I learned about this movie. I didn't even know this was happening until I recently read an interview with Bruce Campbell, as Lindsay points out here, and he said, yeah, he had retired Ash. And then they talked about the movie because he's producing it along with Sam Raimi. But so again, like I guess
I wish they would continue with the kids from the show then.
It's some new kids,
good.
and it has some connection to the original film. Like it's all okay. My understanding of what it is it's supposed to be like relatives of people from the first film.
Relatives of the people from the first film.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, cousin Palka came from Mifos.
I just want them to do. I just want them to film like the stage performance of the musical and just put that out. Don't try and reshoot it or anything. Just to get them on the stage, shoot it like Showcase and Showtime used to do years ago for other plays, and put that out on Blu-ray for all of us. So that
Well,
those
if they forget the lines
it,
like Christopher Walken did.
Yeah, Ghoulies is a good one too. They're bad and well, but Paulie's curious what we're talking about. Okay, Paulie, what this is Script and I started doing a show together. It's called A-rated B movies and B-rated A movies. So basically, every week we talk about one of the other. We started it with Ghostbusters 2, which is an A-rated, B-rated A movie, and the next one we're looking for is an A-rated B movie. So that's where we're at right now.
So a B movie that's really good.
Yes. I don't know if Leprechaun in the Hood would
Mean Guns with
A-rated
Christopher
film, but that is
Lambert and
definitely a
Ice-T.
B movie.
You ever see Mean Guns with Christopher Lambert and
No.
Ice-T? Fucking awesome movie. I love it.
All right. Well, it looks Critters is another one I've had on my mind, but we're saving some of the bigger titles for a little bit yet.
We got Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
That's another one that would be I don't know if that
That's a B-rated B movie though.
Yeah, that's the thing is we run into
True,
a lot
though.
of that. That's the problem.
That's true, though.
It is true though. Yeah.
Okay, what's something that would go good up against the Blob? Let's see.
Tremors.
That's another one I've thought about.
Tremors is a good. It's presented as a B movie, but that's a really good. That's an A film though. Like that's
an
a good
A-rated B movie.
That's an A-rated B movie for
But
sure.
the remake of the Blob, that's when they killed the dog, right?
Yeah. I think that the dog dies and then the date dies.
Yeah, because I liked that movie when I was a kid.
The remake of the Blob came out in '88, right?
88. Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was creepy. Coming through.
Oh yeah, it is.
All right, poll is up, kids. Go ahead and vote. RoboCop would be an A-rated B movie, Monkey, but I'm saving that one.
Yeah, we got to save that one. That's gonna be like a 3-hour show.
Yes, that is going to be a big one. Because actually, we've already got one that we're kind of planning on. It's going to be kind of big, but I got to get it all put together. So, yeah. So outside of that, go ahead and vote, guys. And yeah, was there any other topics that were in the headlines at all?
Nope. I've been sitting here for a half hour scanning Deadline, Hollywood Report. I've been scanning everything.
Yeah, the big news was Chris Cuomo.
Yeah,
and the Rust news. which frankly doesn't look good for the armorist at all.
Doesn't look good for anyone in that production.
No, it's not, but it's looking worse and worse by the minute for her because her story is not looking good.
She seems like the type who doesn't even pay attention or
she hired a fucking shitty lawyer. Like this lawyer's out there positing all kinds of crazy shit in the media.
Yeah, this is a rookie.
Okay, basically, what's the Russ news? The short version is they got some information now from the warrant that was issued. Basically, there was some live ammo on the set.
Yep,
and they're trying to figure out where it got mixed in with the regular the
dummy rounds. The
yes,
stunt
thank
rounds,
you, thank you.
Where and why are both very important.
The problem is the armorist's lawyer is positing some crazy ass conspiracy shit.
Oh, he's going with
not
that?
looking good.
Yeah. Yes, Jesse.
Not looking good at all.
Is he trying to say that it's some kind of organized
and then her
conspiracy,
dad
pissed off and loaded the gun?
Her dad came up with an even more convoluted story that would be like even more like they're trying to like really cover her tracks.
So I'm a gun aficionado. I own 3 rifles, 3 handguns at least right now.
God bless America.
And I'm not even I'm not no master armor, but let me tell you this: even someone with a hobbyist level, your weapon, your live ammo. I have dummy rounds. I have live rounds. I have because the way you get better is you do dry firing. You don't need to go to a range. Most of getting good at this is dry firing, and you don't mix those up. Number one. Number 2 is you don't even mix up your calibers, and there's for this it is clear to me that there's just a gross complete and total negligence and lack of adherence to anything that's core to safety. I mean, it's looking bad, dude. I mean, Tom, you're being really nice the way you're putting it.
Well, here's the thing. I'm also
when you pick up a gun and you feel the weight of it in your hands, you check that fucking gun because it's a gun.
No, that's the thing is it falls on her, and that's where she is saying she claimed she checked the shit, and the thing that's going to kill her. And I'm sorry, that's a poor choice of words. Thing that's really going to hurt her is she says she couldn't fit the bullet in the chamber, so she cleaned it out and then fit. If she
that's bullshit.
Fucking much, then she should have known, and that goes along with the story that we heard earlier, where somebody said they called for the gun check, and she set the gun down on the fucking ground, which is a big no-no. This was a previous movie, not to be confused with this one, because she wasn't actually on the set; she was outside when it actually happened. But her story, according to this, is matching up with the one where she left the gun cart alone. And all that other shit that came out where it's not looking good for it. Like it's getting farther and farther away from Alec. I'm just going to say it that way. Let's put it that way. I'm not saying he's not going to be found, liable from a producer side of things, but as far as the actor side of things,
he's got to get something because
as far as the actor side of things, it's looking less and less likely.
Did the armor or the assistant director hand him the gun?
And they're trying to come up with all kinds of crazy scenarios, and it's like, you're not helping your fucking case.
Unless the armorer checked the gun with him, then he's still liable in my eyes. I think they're all fucked. Honestly, everybody involved should be fucked.
They are.
I mean, they killed somebody collectively.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a civil suit craziness, and you're right. It's a pure negligence thing from top to bottom, and unfortunately, the more I read on it, it's looking like because it's the armorist. Like, to answer your question, Jesse, and I'm sure Script will back me up on this. In most of these instances, it is the armorist's job to make sure these things are safe. That's their job. That's what they're there for. They are in control of the weapons. They are supposed to keep control of the weapons at all times. They're the only ones who are supposed to be handling the weapons, and then they hand it to the the assistant director isn't even supposed to be handing it. They're just supposed to.
They're supposed to observe it.
Exactly, observe it, and then it goes from the armorist to the person. So like everything was done wrong on this set from day one.
It's just a clusterfuck all over the place. So it's just like, why didn't somebody just check the goddamn gun along the line at some point?
And one of the conspiracies that her lawyer is now putting out there between Everything is now that somebody on the set did it purposefully because they had a bunch of disgruntled people.
And that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous because you could prove that people were pissed, but you cannot prove that someone did that.
Exactly. In the randomness.
Can you pull fingerprints off of any of them rounds? If you
exactly.
no, you can't.
And even if that's the case, then that still puts her as the responsible person because she's the one who's supposed to be overseeing all that shit, and nobody should have been able to get close to her shit without her knowing it.
You'd think they'd be.
It is supposed to be under lock and key. That's my point. So
that's why God made gun safes.
Again, it's one of those shitty things where it's
yeah, but Alec Baldwin been doing this shit 35 years. He can't straighten out this fucking set. He likes yelling at people. What the fuck?
Oh, no. I mean, and if there was a lot of negligence going on, he should have been somebody who should have been calling it out or doing something about it. But then again, it could have been one of those cases where I've pointed out where I'm sure Script will also know that sometimes when you have a producer on the set that's an actor like that, they're basically a producer in name only. And a lot of times they keep a lot of the bullshit away from them because they're the type of person who can get somebody fired.
Ben is saying they didn't even have an armor area.
That's another thing. It sounds like from top to bottom, this thing was not handled the way it was supposed to be. Because then the story her dad put in the mix is even more ridiculous.
Can you at least use your motherfucking trunk?
Because the story he put
into out here in a car.
Get this shit. This is the story her dad put into the mix. And this guy is supposed to be like, what, a 40, 50-year veteran who's an armorist?
Yeah.
His story is that they had used dummy rounds previously for practice, and he had another guy bring some live rounds, and they got mixed in with the dummy rounds, and the guy took them home and refused to give them back to him and insinuated that some of those rounds might have gotten mixed in because something. It's a really convoluted fucking chain of events. I'm like, are you fucking serious? You expect anybody to believe that shit? Like, it is the most ridiculous shit I ever heard. Then there's another
more ridiculous is that when you're loading a clip on an automatic and certainly a revolver, you literally are looking at each of these things one at a time. I mean, you can't load a revolver without literally looking, handling, feeling, and it's, you know what caliber it is. You know, I mean, it's very easy to tell if it's live or not.
A revolver is pretty idiot proof.
Well, here's the thing, Ben.
Well, apparently not.
Yeah, I guess
unless something else came out that I'm not aware of. She is licensed and all that shit. It's just that her father is a veteran in the field. So if anything, she's grown up around it her whole life. So
okay, question of the day: who involved of all of them got piss tested or blood tested after this event?
Oh, I'm sure they all. Well, the cops have been all over this shit. So
this is anything turned up there? Or
nothing that we'll find out yet.
And I don't know how well that will play. It all depends on how that plays into this business. Unless that's somebody's defense, then I don't know.
Like, yeah, Mr. Batsu, never underestimate and overestimate an idiot. Yep.
Yeah. So, and then like the other conspiracy theory was that somebody had repacked the rounds and they were in the same cartridges, and they actually packed live rounds in the cartridges. So they're trying to pass the buck onto all kinds of different people.
Yeah, I'm with Big Daddy, man, because it's just like I'm of the same mindset. Just fucking look.
Well,
yourself, because it's happened before.
Only once in the last X amount of years where it's been this, and never like
over
this.
30 years since something.
This is even, we can't even compare this to the Brandon Lee case Brandon Lee case anymore because
it was a different type of accident.
Exactly. Like this is there will be something happening at the end of this. I don't know when, I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's going to happen. I haven't been keeping up with it as much as other people have. There's other YouTubers who have done a much better job, like Ryan Kinnell, and I think Mr. H has been following it pretty well. So check out their reporting on it. I have not been following it as much because it's not something that's in our purview per se. But from what I've been
depressing, honestly.
Well, it is, but it is also part of the news, and I have to be somewhat prepared in case it does come up, because it's one of those things that's in that gray area where Andre and we've discussed this several times. We kind of have like a moral unwritten code of what we cover and what we don't cover, and what we bring into the mix and what we don't bring into the mix. And if you have like some random actor being accused of something outside of a movie, then we're not going to report on that, right? Like that's not in our purview. But now like something like the Les Moonves thing, The only reason it came into any of our reporting was because it did affect things within the company of CBS. So like that's where we bring things up, or where we have to mention Weinstein or something like that. But even then we won't generally get into the details unless it's something that has to do with the film. Now Rust is not even a film that normally we would cover, right? Like we cover genre entertainment, which you could argue Westerns kind of fall under that. But usually when we say genre entertainment, it's something that's kind of attached to an IP, or generally within the sci-fi horror genre, at least.
Yeah,
like
or at least it's of a certain
comic
size.
book.
Rust ain't exactly Tombstone.
Exactly. Rust is not the kind of movie that's even remotely going to fall anywhere in our purview. The only reason, like we talked about, like the new Clint Eastwood movie was, through Pauly and stuff like that, because of, he wanted to do it for Latino slant and stuff like that. Like that's nothing we would have covered over on our side of things, right? Like, because it's not part of anything that we normally get into. Like stuff that's comic book, video games, sci-fi, horror, that's kind of the stuff we cover. So like Rust really isn't in our purview. So
I've never been a big Western fan. Love Tombstone.
I love Westerns, actually.
Yeah, we just love that. You and I, Tom, talked about we just finished talking about the Clint Eastwood movie that came out
Cry
a month
Macho,
ago.
yeah. Did I say the wrong movie? That's what I meant to talk when I said I don't know.
Yeah, you meant it's Cry Macho you were talking about. But and that's a great it was. I just had such a good time with that movie, man. I'm sorry to derail this, but
no, and it wasn't like it was a mind-blowing film or anything. It was just a nice movie, especially in this puddle of shit that we're constantly. And that's why I loved Ghostbusters so much, because it was like, yeah, it's not a 10 out of 10, but you know what? It's so much more like the stuff we used to get compared to what I'm used to lately. Mecha J asks on the subject of Rust, do you think an arrest will happen from this investigation? Potentially, yes. If I had to take a guess on who's going to get arrested,
yeah, I'd bet
probably
money
either
on,
the armorist and the second
first AD.
or first AD. I mean,
yeah.
Those are
you
probably.
Think he'll actually get arrested too?
Alec?
No, I know Alec is Hollywood royalty, so he's.
It's not even that so much.
Yeah,
Bob. It's just that the part of it is he, unless they find some kind of chain of events where he had said, I don't give a shit, or I don't care, I want to save money, or he made some kind of producerial move.
He shot the girl.
That's the thing, though. I get what you're saying.
For Christ's fucking sake.
Jesse, here's the thing. When he's in that position at that moment in time, he's as the actor, right? So I have to tell you, like, from that perspective, the actor is not the one who's responsible for that. But if there is a chain of events where it is brought up that this problem was brought to Alec's attention, and as a producer, he could have done something about it and didn't, that's a completely different situation, right? Like, in this instance, the actor is not the one that's at fault here or liable, no matter what the situation was, because it's the armorist who is the one who's supposed to be responsible.
Yeah, because that way he'll get sued, but he won't get sued because the insurance for the movie will pay for it, and then he walks away scot-free, and he shot a girl.
That's assuming there is insurance for this movie.
That's well, not just that. That doesn't necessarily mean.
Or even if they charge him, what are they going to charge him? $10 million? He'll write a check, and then he'll go back to being a douchebag tomorrow. And I think
his career's done, to be honest with you.
I thought his career was done 20 years ago, personally.
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's debatable, but those baby movies keep happening.
They did The Shadow, and then he just went away.
No, he made his big comeback with 30 Rock and stuff like that.
So. I can't watch that. It was like a liberal comedy.
I liked it at first, but it got really stupid. Mecha J, though, yeah, that's about the best I can say. And again, I'm just guessing at this point. We won't know for a while.
Did you like Workaholics?
I'm not sure if I ever really watched much of it. I know what it is, but yeah, I don't think I really watched it. Xenobit says, but he did not shoot the deputy. This is true.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. Xenobit. Bad chat stream member. Bad. That's so funny. Xenobit. Bad chat stream member.
Send you to the principal's office for being smart.
Bad Xenobit. Bad.
Yep. What a fucking world we live in. It is clown world. We got front row tickets to the shit show, and we're just nobody never knows.
I think I'm just gonna leave, and you guys can get clap. My fucking internet just had a hiccup.
Yeah,
Am I back?
You went, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, I liked 30 Rock at first because it was like a behind the scenes kind of thing of Saturday Night Live, and then it became the Alec Baldwin show with what's her face.
With Tina Fey?
Yeah.
I don't know. Tracy Morgan really kind of
He was the
stole
best
that.
part of that show, yes. Him and what's her face from National Lampoon's Vacation, who played Vicky. What's her name? The actress. Shit. She was the blonde on the show. She was the bimbo.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, she has a tricky last name to pronounce.
Yeah, but she was Vicky on the original National Lampoon's Vacation.
Whoa.
She's the one who says, "I make out and go steady."
Oh,
and then the other one's like, "Oh yeah, everybody does that." She's like, "Yeah, but my dad says I'm the best."
fuck.
Yes.
See, I wouldn't even know what that kid looks like grown up.
She looks almost exactly the same, actually.
Yeah,
but
she
people
looks
just
pretty
forget
good.
she was in that. Yeah.
Oh, he dipped out again. Mic disconnect.
No,
She's
I'm
the one
here.
that gives Audrey all.
Hello?
No, microphone disconnect.
Mine did?
No, Tom's.
Oh.
Who's on first, Mike?
Did it again?
Exactly. Yeah. Are you
Yeah,
there?
Tom, you keep popping out.
Major Tom.
you're muted, Tom.
Ground control.
Hello, Tom.
Oh no.
Tom's gone. And thanks everybody for joining Midnight's Edge After Dark. Tonight we have featured the incredibly talented.
Yeah, I had a blackout.
Did you black
He's
out?
almost there. We
It's
almost
your
got him.
inter- It's your internet.
Because this has been bullshit. Like my internet's been ducking in and out a lot lately. And for what
Like, it sounds like you're like driving around in a car and you hit a dead
Those
zone. That's what it sounds
fuckers.
like.
Yeah, are you in a tunnel?
Are you hardwired or are you on Wi-Fi?
I'm hardwired even. No,
That
I'm
makes
gonna
no
bitch.
sense.
I've been complaining for a while now, and this has been really bad lately. Like I haven't been able to do a MEAD radio without it being wonky. The last few streams I've been on, it's gone wonky. Hell, earlier on Midnight's Edge Espanol, I dropped out completely.
I noticed that.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Is the infrastructure?
Have you
around
restarted your router recently? In the last week?
Yeah, earlier when the brownout happened.
Or the cables
that's a
around
good
you
point.
on poles, or are they buried underground?
I have no idea.
Or are there poles outside?
I don't think so. I think it's underground.
That's a pain in the balls.
No, they'll probably just tell me it's whatever, and it's like some stupid excuse and whatever.
Do you know how old the system is? Like how old is where? Like,
It can't be that
connection?
old. I mean, they got pretty high speed. I got pretty fast internet. That's what pisses me off.
Is it done through AT&T or someone else?
No, it's Spectrum or whatever,
No, Spectrum.
or Charter.
Go
or whatever it is.
Spectrum.
Yeah.
What you should do is call up and just scream at everybody about fiber optics. And
Well, that was the thing
be
is
that
when
guy.
I was having issues before, I bitched about it, and they said, well, the only other option is this, like major high speed thing for businesses. Like, well, I am a business from home, and they're like, yeah, but it costs you this much to have it installed, and it was like some ungodly amount. And I'm like, fuck that.
No,
it's a minimum of 3 figures to get
Yeah,
an
it
installation
was.
of fiber.
Yeah, it was like
you should also ask your cable provider where the closest node is and ask for it to be checked to see if it's fucked up.
Well, I'll call him again. I haven't talked to him in a little while.
Because you know what? They'll all be like, me, I don't even know what you're talking about. But then when you get that one person with a brain, they'll actually send a guy with a truck out
There
there.
was one guy, like the last time I had issues and I hadn't had him in a while, it was he actually seemed to know what he was doing. So hopefully I'll get that guy again. So
Do you guys ever have the experience of whenever you're dealing with anybody on the phone, even if you get that one good person that seems to help you out, then the next time you call up, nothing was saved?
that sucks. Yes, that happens to me all the fucking time.
Right? The fuck?
Xenobit sent in another $2. Thank you, sir. Says, I always knew Tom was on the spectrum. Actually, I probably am. I've never actually been diagnosed, though.
He's more
No, I'm not
rainbow
even
than
kidding.
a Technicolor green coat.
I'm not even kidding. They came close, like, because they didn't have that shit when I was in school. They didn't really understand that shit yet. Like I got diagnosed with all kinds of crazy shit when I was a kid, but it wasn't like anything like that.
I don't like you quack doctors. Stay out of my head.
That's kind of where I got to.
I'll diagnose myself. Thank you very much.
I got sick and tired of doctors and stupid shit.
Yeah, they're there to make a paycheck. They ain't there to fucking help you.
No.
Not unless they're sewing you back together.
What the heck is that?
What the fuck?
I just figured we needed a laugh.
Oh my god! I just saw earlier today the Screen Rant. What do they call those things? Honest trailers for the 007 movie. Oh my god, so funny.
Well, you saw the movie itself, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
He
no
nailed
pitch
it.
meeting would ever go like that.
Did you see that MGM was out making the same argument that I said that they might have actually broke even or made some money on this thing, right? Because there was the story going around that they lost $100 million, and then MGM's like, nope, we're in the clear.
With all the markets that they sold it to for streaming,
I believe them.
Yeah,
because they were smart. They threw it out for rental.
Yeah.
Is it legit that Cavill's going to do it?
Oh my god, we've got.
I don't know about that, but
oh my god, we've got I don't want to call him a VIP, but
it's the guy who does the thing.
Uh-oh.
Come on, man.
Oh man. Says have the thing outside. They check the thing, the meter on the side of the house. Mine had a power leaking back into the system randomly, forcing my I was doing the thing to the internet. And kids like to rub my legs.
No.
2 years and finally figured it out. Wow. That's an interesting situation. That sounds like what my parents were dealing with when they were on the outskirts of town. Like they were at the very ass end of the line, and like they were getting a bunch of bad packets or whatever the fuck it was called. It took me like 2 weeks on the phone and finally getting somebody to come out there to actually look at shit. And what had happened was that the phone lines were so fucking old. And the way they had it rigged up, it was hilarious. But no, I don't think that's so much the problem here, but I will.
Well, how old is your electric shit?
I don't think it's that old. See, like the guy that owns this place, he bought it not that long ago, and he redid a lot of shit on the inside. So it's like half-ass been, fixed up and shit. So it's an older house, but it's been fixed up and all that business. But the last time I called him was a few months ago, and I hadn't had problems till recently again, like this much. I can understand once in a great fucking while, especially at a prime time. But like every time I stream anymore, no matter what I'm doing, it seems to kick out on me multiple times. So that's unacceptable as far as I'm concerned. So I will be working on that. And thank you, President Joe Biden.
Let's go, Brandon.
Yeah, he's the guy who cured the COVID.
He said it's over. Then there was more. I don't know.
Xenobit coming in with another 5 says Screen Rant does a pitch meeting for MEAD. So Tom just randomly drops. Yes, it'll make the chat laugh. That's tight. That is in the movie.
That is definitely in the movie.
Let's go, Brandon. So yeah. Whoa, what the fuck was that?
Let's go, Brandon.
Was that your modem cracking?
Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
Yes.
So yeah, now that I don't have to be done right now, what are we gonna do, kids?
Russian roulette.
Let's not.
You at home can play too.
Oh man, I wrote a
play too. Yes,
I wrote a gun gag where a bunch of people are playing Russian roulette with a Glock.
I know we could do. We could for Jesse's new OnlyFans page. We could make him wear like a Midnight's Edge After Dark man thong, and we could spin Jesse on the linoleum.
Oh fuck a bunch of that. This isn't like a Malaysian prison.
Yeah, it can be.
Fuck that shit.
Let's spin Jesse. Dun, 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 dun. Let's spin Jesse.
We just got a slew of super chats in here. Holy cow. Mecca J says, will any of you guys be checking out Steven Spielberg's West Side Story? Probably not, but we did get some word earlier that it's woke as fuck.
Well, dude,
how?
It's a musical.
They fixed all the problems of the past.
We had problems?
It's okay. Half the cast is just gonna have an
It's a
orgy
gang
after.
war. How do you make that woke? Like, who's wokest?
Well,
No, because it's Broadway bullshit.
they're
all
gang members that are
white
fighting
loafers.
while
Dancing.
doing-
Say it. Say it.
Well, it's over a chick, right? Isn't it? If I remember correctly.
Not anymore.
It's like Helen of Troy, but with
Romeo and
music.
Juliet.
And
Now
Romeo and
Maria
Juliet.
is Mario.
Maybe
Aramis
in
and
the
Thisbe.
maybe in the knife fight they fight over like who gets to take home the new pink pumps that are at the local fashion store.
I didn't even know you could do a super sticker for $10.
Yes,
Yeah.
you
Okay.
can.
Yes, you can.
And it's a really cool looking smiley face guy with his arms crossed, and he's got
And sunglasses
sunglasses.
coming in.
Or actually, he's a video game controller. He's not a smiley face. My bad.
That's internet sunglasses dropping on you.
That's
You
right.
like that?
Thank you so much for the super sticker, Jesus Davila. It truly is super.
Just
And then
learned
Zebit
something.
fires in another 5 and says, I name all my video game characters Brandon. So the NPCs tell me, let's go, Brandon.
That's good.
That's funny. So yeah. I've heard that's the case. So I don't know, Spielberg's gone wokeified.
That's
Not
weird.
surprised. Hey, Spielberg.
It's funny that a guy that made a movie called Schindler's List is joining the guys, the baddies.
That would have taken everybody off that list. Yeah.
Kind of ironic.
I
Yeah.
have a certain set of skills, and that certain set of skills is about taking people off a list.
Liam Neeson.
I like
Whole new Schindler's List.
the show.
Don't get on his list. I will find you and I will kill you. Wouldn't that be something? Like,
I like it. The guy who removed the guns
taking
from
needs Schindler's List. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, he had to put those back, but yeah.
Yeah, he saw. Yeah, Xenobit says the guy who removed guns from ET spared me. Yeah, at least he was smart, and he's like, yeah, that was probably something stupid.
That was he basically. I think he said that was a waste of money.
Yeah, the only way you can get that version now is the old out of print DVD. You can't even get that version anymore.
Which I might have by accident. I don't know.
I
haven't
do
opened
have
it up
it.
yet.
It's cool. I got no desire to ever watch ET again in my life. I'd sooner just like smash my head into a brick wall.
I don't know why. What's wrong with ET?
It's fucking boring. And I know he just goes home after nothing happens.
I agree. I was not one of those who got into ET. I fell asleep. I've never found a charming. I sure as hell didn't cry. ET phone home. Well, okay, hurry up.
I couldn't get with this character, man. He was just
What?
Okay, so anyway.
Well, here's
he
actually kind of
was
a very
creepy looking. He looked like a big booger.
there's that, but here's a very interesting aspect with regards to Steven Spielberg. So, you could actually pinpoint when he finds out the truth of his parents' divorce based on the quality of films he makes afterwards, and it starts with The Last Crusade.
That's sad.
Because he was told as a child all the way through that his father did the wrong and left the family. And that's why he has these daddy issue films that are actually quite profound and good, like Close Encounters, E.T., even Jaws to an extent. But he finds out in the mid-'80s that, his mom was actually the bad actor in that marriage. And the father did not want to make any of the kids think that the mom was bad, so he took all the blame from their perspective. And The Last Crusade sort of is a little bit of a story about that from Steven Spielberg's point of view. And then afterwards, all the other movies that he does afterwards they don't have the same type of familiar impact that they had prior.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You just broke that shit down, man. That's deep. It's fucked up.
This fly is pissing me off.
And now I'm
have a
honestly
fly in
thinking
your
about
room?
what did his mother
Yes.
The story is that she had an affair, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Your mother was a hooker.
Does that mean didn't Steven have like a younger sister or some shit that probably isn't his dad? Is this like, see? You know, I'm just kidding.
Whoops.
And on that note, no.
Yeah, that uplifting.
Don't go
tidbit.
see the goddamn movie. Steven Spielberg is not the same man he was years ago.
No, I mean none of the great directors really are. You change and grow as time passes. So
Yeah, but they all became pussies besides Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, Martin Scorsese became a father like 11 years ago, so I think that gave him some new life, so he could hold on to that rawness that you need, to that energy you require to be
Reinvigorated.
Yeah, got reinvigorated. Also, I mean, he did Hugo, which was a fantastic film. It's like the only movie you can show a kid under 15.
I think I've seen that. I'm trying to remember.
It's it's about the From the Earth to the Moon guy who made the original movie that Thomas Edison stole.
He's still alive.
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, you should check out Hugo. Yeah, everybody give Hugo a shot if you want to see a nice little heartwarming family film.
I guess I never even
By Martin
realized he
Scorsese.
directed that. I guess I never even. Yeah.
You know, that old movie did look pretty good. I thought it was good looking for the day, and for black and white old silent film.
Oh, I love Scorsese. There's not many filmmakers like him anymore that have zero fucks to give and will just make a good movie.
Not on the studio side, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even if somebody wants to do something cool, that's exactly it. They get the big wig that comes down and says, you know, you can't do that.
And Francis Ford Coppola quit making movies, basically.
Yeah.
What was the last thing he directed, anyway?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's check it out.
A long time ago, I think. He kind of lost his edge, too, though.
The only one I really don't like is Michael Bay.
Well, nobody likes Michael Bay, Jesse.
I know,
just
but
tolerate
it's just like but he keeps getting work, though.
So the last thing Coppola directed was Distant Vision, which I don't think many people saw. And he's still working on Megalopolis, which is probably going to be his final film.
His final film. David Martin. Yeah, Tarantino I love, but Tarantino only makes a movie once every fucking few years. Like, he doesn't have to do anything but that. So, like, I love him to death. He's probably my favorite director, but
you know what he needs to do? He needs to sleep to noon and eat a burrito. Then decide what he's going to do with the day.
That's all he really does. He's got a kid now.
Well,
Like, he even said that. He's like, for now, I'm enjoying writing novels and shit, he said. So, and hanging out.
Yeah, I mean, we're also going to get some of that Western show he shot.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be doing that thing with Leo.
Yep.
So
yeah, but think about it this way: if he starts writing novels, then that's just more stuff he owns that he could then make into his movie.
Well, every time he gets asked about that 10 movie thing, he has a different answer. Like, I don't buy that 10 movie thing. That motherfucker is gonna make movies till the day he dies. He's just gonna have to get that bug. And he even said it himself. He's like, I got a kid now. Maybe when I think it's a she, because I think he said when she's 5 or whatever and goes to school and I get bored, maybe I'll start writing more movies again. But he's like, for right now, I got like one more in me, and then I want to spend some time being a dad and shit like that, and just writing books.
Yeah, he'll have another reason to start doing cocaine. So.
Exactly.
As long as he doesn't Stevie Ray Vaughan it and put coke in the whiskey.
You also got to remember, a lot of these guys, they live such lavish lifestyles that eventually they got to do something for the money. So,
yeah, they spend more than what they take in.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like guaranteed his mansion is paid off, but imagine the taxes.
Well, not only that, it's an army of people that, you know, basically make the, like, we remember when we talked to Danny Trejo, he said, it's like 3 people basically run my life. Right. And,
yeah,
and
Danny's I was curious about with him is how long does he get to know before he goes on an airplane and he's just like off shooting a movie?
I don't know, but my point
like a day.
My point was though is that like that's just it, and Danny probably runs with some of the like more minimal in Hollywood compared to some. Like when you like script, like what's an average mid-level to big stars entourage like?
That I've seen is usually like around 10 people.
That's what I was figuring, probably about 10 to a dozen people. Yeah,
and I don't even know if all of them are fully part of the entourage. If they're just assistants to the assistants, like it's you don't know,
right?
Or family.
Well, they're on their own kind of cottage industry or whatever you want to call it, or you know, you got to basically pay all these people. So like you're your own business in a way.
No, an A-list actor is their own business. They have a driver. They've got person that deals with their fashion. They've got their publicist. They've
Hair
got
person.
they've got like Robert Downey Jr. has one person dedicated to his facial hair.
That's
He
insane.
can afford it now.
Yeah, I mean, but that's actually
You
at the
think he would
recommendation
just
of
go
his
down
wife.
to the barber and chill?
No, that's at the recommendation of his
He
wife
does have
because
the
he's
coolest
done it
goatees
on himself
ever.
and he's had the barber do it, and she hates it every time. So she picked out a guy for him to do his beard when he grows a beard, and when he shaves, and you have all those things. Like that's why when you see an actor that they get like a $25 million or $50 million paycheck, you have to remember that most of that money they don't see because it goes into their business to pay the employees that they have that aren't just managing their own personal lives, but they're also looking for things for them to do as an actor to get more money. And that's a lot of people. And it's its own little small business in and of itself. So yeah, like that doesn't just go to the bank and they just don't pay flat tax on top of that. There's a whole bunch of other processes going on in regards to that.
Yep, just like government, keep it small. That's why like Trejo, he's smart because he's got that core group that he trusts, and that's that.
Well, not only that, like sometimes you can't maintain that core group because a lot of those people are either writers, actors, directors that they want to, go off and do something else. So you have a rotating staff every so many months.
Yeah, that's why it's got to be somebody you've known forever.
But a lot of people don't want to be stuck in a job like that because it's technically a dead end job.
Yeah, but Jesus Christ, it's a cool job. I'm sure
no, it's not. It is not a cool job in any way, shape, or form. Being an assistant or part of an entourage with the talent, it is not a cool
just
job.
like answering emails and phone calls and trying to schedule shit, and
it's more than that. It's also dealing with temper tantrums from actors, feuds, drama. It's not cool. It's very much high school. It's high school in the worst possible ways and everybody is the most popular person and you're all trying to balance it out and compete with each other in some manner of speaking. Once you get to that level, it's not a dream job at all.
I can see where actually writing and reading scripts gets lost.
Yeah. Xenobit sends in a $2 super chat and has a question. Have you seen Super Turbo Atomic Ninja Rabbit? No.
That sounds like an awesome combination of
sounds like something I would have made up.
Yeah.
Sounds like something I would have totally made up.
Is that like a fake cartoon that was put on like a while back?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a real thing. Is that a real thing?
It's not no. I remember there was like a cartoon circulating social media like 5-6 years ago. And it was similar to like the Bucky O'Hare cartoon.
Right.
And I think the person who made it was trying to like bait and switch people that was a real thing. But like I never remembered it. I just thought the short was cool. But yeah.
Unless Xenobit's just trying to be funny.
Yeah, it's probably something he came up with on a
it was a short film. It just popped up here on my
No,
search.
I've never seen it.
Let's see.
It's like the opening credits to a
what the
all right.
Show. People got some weird shit.
Hoax. It says,
is that a cow? Is that big chick a cow? And then there's a fox. What the?
It's like some anime stuff, yeah.
There's a bear, there's a chicken, there's a fox, there's a frog, there's a rabbit.
Anime people are weird.
All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap this up, kids. It looks like Chris Gore and Lauren Chen are hanging out over at Geeks and Gamers. So why don't you head on over there and tell them Midnight's Edge After Dark sent you. We'd appreciate that. There's the link in the chat. Mike, Jesse, Script, anything you guys got coming up that you want to plug?
Not right now.
Not specific. I was going to run a stream, but it's kind of late, so I'm probably just going to play a game for 2 hours and go to sleep.
Well,
go to work.
Let's subscribe to all these gentlemen's channels. In the meantime,
I'm going to play my PS5.
Shut up.
Oh.
Yo, if you get a line on PS5s, I need 2.
Right? I need
Bro,
one.
you want to hear something crazy? And I feel awful. Like, I had no idea these things were going to be bad. Because I was a GameStop, I don't know, whatever I am, Platinum Gold member, whatever the hell.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had 2 of these boxes, and I sold one back in April. Or May. No, May. I got them both in May. Don't hate me. Look, Jesse, that's not the look of love, Jesse. You still love me. Jesse, you still love me. Try to love me.
Get more.
I don't know. I can't. I tried.
I know. It's like cutthroat out there.
I know. But if I come visit, but I am going to come visit you. I promise. And I promise I'll bring it with me.
I need to find some. It's fucking ridiculous. Like last Christmas, there wasn't
The
any.
graphics and the
Christmas,
audio
yeah.
are so good. Oh,
What
we
about
forgot
next
the poll winner.
Christmas?
I forgot about the poll.
We have 231
There's a poll.
votes. Good job, everybody.
And the
Nice.
winner is Tremors,
Woo!
kid.
All right. Good
Wow.
choice.
I had to vote Tremors because I figured it was a bigger movie.
Thanks for reminding me. Rick and Jay.
69.8%.
Oh yeah, it won by like quite a bit. So that's all right. I got Tremors on 4K, so I can watch that.
But you got all the Tremors on 4K.
No, just the first one. That's the only one that's on 4K. Yeah.
But you do.
I
own
got 'em all,
All,
but yeah.
all the.
I don't have the
major bad
series,
ones.
surprisingly, but yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I never picked it up. Chef Nation says if we're gaming, let's do this thing. So there you go. But all right, other than that, head on over to Geeks and Gamers. Tell the boys and girls we said hello.
Hello.
Yeah. All of you take care of yourselves and each other. And yeah, this one was for JJ. Take care, guys.